you go.
Thank you.
This young boy is Andrew Peabody. He has the unfortunate affliction of actually loving his parents. It's Andrew's favorite time of year because he can spend all day in the kitchen with his mom.
Now we do the cinnamon and sugar.
She's made of sugar and spice and everything nice, which is why Andrew thinks she smells like cake. They're awaiting the arrival of Mr. Peabody, who is at the YMCA picking up their discarded Christmas trimmings for his family to enjoy.
Hey, buddy. Think this is great?
Wait till you see what I got in the wagon.
Mother and son love seeing Mr. Peabody all a-Twitter. They've nicknamed him Panic Man, due to his tendency to bumble and fumble once he's keyed up.
Well, the top's broken off, but I don't think Santa will notice.
Your only mistake was marrying me.
Mr. Peabody knew he couldn't live without his wife, and that's what stopped his heart. As was tradition, the wake was held in the family home. However, no one seemed to remember the parents' request to be cremated, a fact that had not slipped young Andrew's mind. Andrew realized that the only way to carry out their wishes was to burn down the house with his mom and dad's caskets inside. No one was hurt in the blaze, but once the flames had consumed Andrew's childhood home, there was only one relative willing to take Andrew in.
I'm your Aunt Gertrude Crabbe.
It surprised no one that Aunt Gertrude remained alone all these years. Several times she contemplated having children, but hadn't found a way to squeeze them into her rigorous schedule. She was known to say she thought the process of making babies was far too messy, let alone the little cesspools that are the result. Now with Andrew, she could teach him the wonders of an ordered household.
Close. The shoes should be a full 1 7/8 of an inch apart, not 1 5/8 of an inch.
She made several awkward attempts to connect with him.
To make you feel more at home, you get to pick out a new paint color for your room.
Aunt Gertrude was trying, but everything she did only seemed to make him feel more isolated.
Oh, no, dear. We won't be eating any of that. I'm allergic to yeast.
It was clear, now more than ever, that Andrew was alone in this world. Andrew continued to live with his Aunt Gertrude. However, the last 2 decades had been an unspectacular series of disappointments.
Andrew, dear, your shoes were all over the place. Could you straighten them up before you go?
After all these years, Aunt Gertrude was still immune to change.
All right, sleep well.
Thank you. You be careful out there. Don't forget your scarf.
To maintain his relationship with his aunt, or perhaps just to avoid her, he got a job working overnight. Andrew worked as a fact checker for the local paper, and it was one of the few things he loved doing. It gave him great comfort to learn of the other strange people in his town. Little did Andrew know that his routine was about to be broken in the most unfortunate of ways.
I've gone out for breakfast. I trust the shoes will be in order when I get home. Love, Aunt Gertrude.
Few people knew of Aunt Gertrude's weakness for fast food breakfast sausage. Once losing control of the car, she inadvertently gave herself a life-saving Heimlich maneuver after smashing into a dinosaur on the local putt-putt mini golf course. Though Aunt Gertrude's injuries were not life-threatening, she would be bedridden for the duration of her recovery. You really should hire a nurse.
No, I don't need a nurse. I've got Andrew, and he can quit his job. Can't you, dear?
No!
Can't you, dear? What a good boy.
Andrew did not contest the decision that his aunt had made for him. He felt an obligation to her because she was solely responsible for his upbringing, unspectacular as it had been. He was now responsible for all of Aunt Gertrude's errands.
Hello. Hello?
That was my mother's name.
Now we do the cinnamon and sugar.
Hello, Mr. Pickles.
Evening, Joy.
Hi.
What the shit?
Andrew was unable to sleep that night. The yummy tummy bread had triggered a happiness he'd long forgotten. Andrew couldn't purchase the bread because Aunt Gertrude would become suspicious. For years, her yeast-free diet had kept bread out of the home. At first, he only squeezed the bread when he had to go grocery shopping. However, his clandestine squeezes became more frequent as he invented reasons to go to the store.
What kind of person would do this kind of think it's vandalism is what it is. This is the last straw.
Further maddening to Mr. Pickles was that the only victim of this peculiar crime was the yummy tummy bread.
What's a bread squeezer?
Excuse me?
The sign?
Oh, that. Someone's been damaging hundreds of dollars worth of bread for about a month now. The thing that's really got Mr. Pickles discombobulated, it's only the yummy tummy bread.
It's only the yummy tummy bread?
It's the only bread that, you know, gets squeezed. Pretty remarkable, huh?
Remarkable? I guess so.
Guess so. Nothing vaguely close to that ever happens around here.
You'd be surprised.
What?
I used to work for the paper. You'd be surprised at the stuff that happens.
Oh yeah, like what? Tell me something else. Something remarkable.
Well, this happened maybe 15 years ago, but I think it still counts.
As Andrew recounted an old story he had stumbled upon, something within Joy was sparked. You see, Andrew knew the story, but he didn't know the story behind the story. The person involved in this peculiar episode was young Joy. Her family had moved to a new town where the neighborhood kids were of the unfriendly variety. It didn't take Joy long to see that she would never be invited to the cupcake tea parties or birthday celebrations in backyard pools. It was then she realized that she had to take action.
I'll be home as
Joy
soon as I can.
convincingly
As soon as my
faked a
shift is over,
stomach
I promise.
virus to stay home from
Good.
school.
And you call me if you need anything, okay? Oh gosh, I'm gonna be late. I love you. You be good. Bye, honey.
Bye.
Once she was sure everyone had left for work and school, she crept into all of the houses and took the children's toys. The case of the torched toys remains unsolved to this day.
I always felt it wasn't malicious. Whoever did it had a really good reason.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I have to get something for my Aunt Gertrude.
Andrew, unknowingly acknowledging Joy's secret, bonded her to him. It was as if he had kept her secret for all these years. She couldn't let this feeling slip away. She decided to tell him she was the one who had burned all of those toys.
The bread squeezer.
The reward poster for the bread squeezer had instilled in Andrew a rational fear of being caught.
Andrew, dear. Did you get the rutabaga I wanted?
They didn't have... Pickles is closed?
Closed?
Andrew decided he would stay away from the grocery store altogether because he was afraid of being in the same room with the yummy tummy bread. He tried to break his bread squeezing habit by finding other avenues of comfort. Unfortunately, none of these things provided any more than the usual contentment. In the weeks that Andrew stayed away, Joy found herself missing him.
It's the only bread that, gets squeezed. The thing that's really got Mr. Pickles discombobulated, it's only the yummy tummy bread.
Holding up in Aunt Gertrude's house was exacerbating the problem, not solving it. In his weakened condition, Andrew forgot that Pickles Grocery opens at 10 a.m. He had arrived 30 minutes too early. Since Andrew had stopped coming to the store, Joy began coming in early in the hopes that should he decide to come back, she would see him before Mr. Pickles.
I won't tell.
And she didn't have to. He no longer needed to squeeze the bread, having found something far superior.
Love.